Good morning, everyone. We are here with dCS, one of our favorite brands at Moon Audio, with Imran. Imran, for those who might not be familiar with dCS, who you guys are and the type of products you make, can you let us know a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, first of all, real pleasure, visiting with you,
Thank
Ricky.
you for being here.
We love Moon Audio. They represent dCS so well. And there's no question that our technology is very novel, very unique in the industry, and how that came to be really transpired over multiple decades. I mean, we got our start back in the late 80s, and at that particular time, really, we didn't have any ambitions to be a high-end audio company. We actually got our start working in military applications, designing radars that were much, much more accurate than what the technology permitted at that time. And interestingly enough, when you're designing radar technology, it's actually the reverse of digital to analog conversion. You're doing analog to digital. But the technology really boded itself well to being an exceptionally accurate digital to analog conversion. So when we took that technology that we developed and is actually still utilized to this day in many, very high-end, radar systems that we developed, that was really kind of the bedrock, the beginning of the ring DAC technology, which is bespoke and completely novel to dCS.
Right.
It's not a ladder DAC, it's not a chip DAC, it's something entirely unique to us. And over the course of all these decades, with a lot of pioneering and blazing of the trail along the way, with things such as we introduced the world's first 24-bit DAC, and then laid the bedrock for things like DSD technology. So dCS is very familiar with kind of pioneering and blazing trails in digital audio, and there's no question that ring DAC has been honed and developed from both a hardware as well as a software vantage point over all of those years since. And now we're really excited. We have this past year we launched Apex,
right?
Which is really exciting. Really
Absolutely,
exciting.
yeah. So before we get to the Apex, talk about the Lina. We love the Lina at Moon. It's a great seller for us. What is it? What does it do?
Absolutely. So really, I think the story of Lina actually begins with Bartok.
Okay.
So Bartok was a product that we introduced, I guess it's been about 5 years or so now, right? And when we introduced the Bartok, really, you might consider it maybe a little bit of our dipping our toe into the head-fi world when we introduced, a really fantastic Class A output stage on our Bartok. Really well received, fantastic product, and and folks in the head-fi community really were over the moon about it, right?
Yeah.
But what ended up happening though is that we said, we can take this to another level still. We want to create essentially like an absolute ultimate reference level system for head-fi. And so starting from scratch, a clean sheet, we said, what do we want it to look like? What do we want the form factor? What the technology? I mean, dCS, with our ring DAC technology, we knew that we could do something really special, but we wanted something that was truly 100% purpose-built for head-fi. And the Lina project really allowed us to be able to do that. So it's a family that's composed of three components.
Right.
The heart of which is the Lina DAC. And the technology that's built into there, for those that are familiar with dCS, things like our Expanse technology, which is really an improvement over crossfeed that so many in the head-fi community are familiar with. But we wanted to be able, we felt like we could do it better. We could push the envelope, and Expanse is incorporated into our Lina DAC. It is absolutely through and through a ring DAC.
Yep.
In fact, one of the biggest challenges of this form factor was being able to fit the ring DAC inside of this chassis. The ring DAC is a huge piece of hardware. It is,
it's impressive.
It's big.
Yeah.
And every plane inside of this unit is chock full of double-sided, 16-layer PCB with exceptional component quality. And to fit that all in there was really kind of a project in and of itself. Kind of origami, if you will.
Yeah, right.
We used flex rigid board technology, which was actually the first utilization of that type in our industry, in order to fit that board inside of the Lina DAC. And we use that technology also in the other components, the master clock. dCS, because of our background in both broadcast and recording studios, we're very familiar with and have developed that technology of master clocking. And so, it's very much kind of a part of who we are. It's our DNA. And we know that when we incorporate an external word clock for the master clock inside of the DAC to reference from, the performance envelope goes way up. And so offering that in that family was really important to us. So if somebody starts out with something like the DAC, maybe to begin with, and then they choose that, hey, I'm ready for that upgrade path, the master clock is a great way to do that.
Sure.
And then the final product, which, I mean, oh my gosh, the Lina amp. We have gotten so much positive response about the Lina amplifier.
That's amazing.
Because it's you can only do so far with a Class A output stage on the Bartok, in the sense that it'll drive a lot of things wonderfully. But there are certain cans out there, like for instance, like these lovely cans over here, the Susvaras, which are challenging. And so we set out to create an amplifier that could drive anything. And that amplifier, really kind of a super Class AB amplifier, it absolutely has built-in error correction, so it has the output attributes of a Class A amplifier, but it'll drive like a Class AB amp.
Yeah, for sure.
And so really, really exciting. So yeah, rounding out the full family there of those three components, every one of them built ground up by dCS from a clean sheet and utilizing 30 plus years of our technology.
It's one of our favorite complete systems. I mean, it's all you can really say about it. Let's move to the Apex.
Yes.
Tell us about the Apex. What's new? What's going on there?
Yeah, so Apex, funny thing about Apex was really kind of, I guess you might call it a positive benefactor of COVID. You take a really incredible, very talented group of engineers, and you tell them, hey, you can't come into the office. You're on lockdown nationally, and what do they like to do? They like to tinker. They like to find ways to be able to make something better. Well, how do you improve on something that is already state of the art? Well, you have to redefine what is state of the art. The project of Apex really actually was born out of Chris Hale saying, how can we make the ring DAC even better? And the first challenge actually came when we took all of the exceptional, the measuring equipment out there, and at the ring DAC measures so impressive. But to the level that we needed to measure, there wasn't adequate measuring equipment that existed for us to be able to measure at the degree of precision that we needed.
Interesting.
And so the project of the Apex actually began with us having to develop, which we've done this in years past, all new bespoke measuring equipment for us to even be able to get at the level of precision that we needed. And so once Chris Hales was able to do that, then he was able to really start to hone in and figure out how to improve the output characteristics of the ring DAC. And so ultimately, you're talking about the only thing that it's hardware.
Right.
It's hardware, and the only thing that really resembles between the former ring DAC and the Apex ring DAC is actually the resistor array. Every single other aspect and component on that board is entirely new. It's a new configuration, new placement of components. It's an entirely new output stage, and the results from an empirical standpoint are really impressive. You're talking about more than 12 decibels of an increase in linearity across the audio band.
Wow.
That is more than an order of magnitude of improvement, right? 10 decibels would be an order of magnitude. This is even further than that. And that all new output stage, the analog output stage, also so impressive and much more consistent across what you're going to be connecting it to.
Right.
But yeah, Apex is really exciting. Ultimately, what we want to be able to do is we understand that the more accurate that we can convert those ones and zeros in what is otherwise sometimes I refer to as the minefield of converting digital to analog. There's a lot of things that you have to get right. And it's not any one thing. It's not, oh, it's the power supply. Oh, it's the whatever, resistors.
Yeah.
It's a myriad of thousands of little things that you have to get right in order to have that kind of
Absolutely.
outcome. But
Yeah.
Apex is huge. It's now been incorporated from Bartok into Rossini and Vivaldi, and we're really, really excited about it. It's been extremely well received, and we couldn't be more proud of what Chris did when he was locked away in national lockdown during COVID. Yeah.
Strange what happens, you know?
Strange what happens.
Yeah, so awesome. Imran, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Everyone, dCS, check it out. Also, if you're not here at Expona, be sure to check out our live blog, which we will be updating throughout the day, throughout the weekend. So check us out there on our website, moon-audio.com. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Imran.